Good evening, everyone. It is September the 7th, 2025. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I want to talk about the shooting that occurred down in the Byward Market. I have a short clip on that as well that I'll be putting up after I speak. And things are, well, this film that I'm going to put up was about August the 15th. And it seems that things have escalated a bit. Fortunately, the video that you'll see where people are running, that the police did, I believe, handcuffed a suspect and put him in the back of the police car. So they possibly caught that person that did it. And but I haven't heard any updates on that. But I just wanted to catch up on an old video that I had to. Just to let you know that we've had some shootings. There's been definitely some stabbings, even across the street from where I live. There was a stabbing as well, where it was roped up. That was about the same time. I don't know if this has got anything to do with it, but I do know that since the shooting, I would say about 3 weeks ago, that one of the indications that there's more activity going on in the Lower Town area, to me anyhow, is that our emergency vehicles, you hear more and more sirens, and I've been hearing a lot more sirens lately in the last 3 weeks. It was more quiet actually over the rest of the summer, and seems like now fall's coming and things are speeding up. And I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman that I know. He was quite upset. I guess something had happened. The police were there. And he was noticing, and he was talking to me, and he was noticing that there was a lot more people hanging around the one of the shelters in the area. And I was going by too that day and wondering, gee, there's a lot of people out, and I didn't really they didn't look too familiar to me. And then while talking to him, he said, no, these are all new people. Like, he doesn't know where our regulars from the shelter have gone. And he found that really strange. And then when the police were apparently involved with it, whatever he was talking about, it was mentioned that apparently what's happening, which sometimes does happen, that we have a migration from the Quebec side of the border, because Ottawa and Hull and Gatineau, the river is a border between the two provinces. And they often come over from the Quebec side onto the Ontario side. And from what the police were saying to him was that it seems that these people are all coming in from the Quebec side. And we don't know what's happened with our regulars on the street at this point, because they just seem to have disappeared, according to what he was saying too. He hadn't seen them for some time. So the fall is always a shift that's going on. Where our people went, I'm not sure. I know during the colder weather, of course, they do come in closer, the homeless on the street, because for warmth and that. But of course, we just feel like something's shifting here. And with the September coming in now and the cold coming in, I can tell you a couple of things that have happened to me. In our building here, we've had the front door totally smashed in again. We've had to board it up. They had to replace it again last week, the glass in it. We had another incident where someone in our apartment building thought that they were being nice. He's not too swift, and he allowed a homeless woman to move in with him, and he even put her on the lease. And none of us were aware of it. And apparently she had the keys as well. And he was talking about, what ended up happening, how I found out, was our fire alarm got pulled. So we're running out of the building. Okay, this was in the middle of the day. And actually, probably about, in the late morning. And so I caught up with him, and he was telling me what happened, and he was the one that pulled the fire alarm, because he was getting beaten up for the second time across the street. She was getting her street friends to beat him up. So he got scared. He didn't apparently have the keys or whatever. He managed to get back in her building and then pulled the fire alarm. And he didn't have a phone, so he didn't call the police, which he should have. And by the time the fire department came, and he said, I pulled the alarm because I got scared. And then they called the police, and because he really needed the police, not the fire department. And of course, police department came and blasted him for pulling our fire alarms, because that's an offense. If there's no fire, you do not pull a fire alarm. So now that he's scared, we haven't seen him around. Last time when I did talk to him that day, he said he was pretty sure he had another place to go to for the time being. So and then he's apparently had to get the girl. The girl was only on the lease for 2 days. But this is what I wanted to bring up, because during this time period in the fall, these dealers and these street people, they will do anything to get into an apartment. This street girl obviously misled him, but this is when you talk about home invasions. This is one of the way they do it. They get in, this girl would get in, and then she'd have her friends coming in, and I believe this beating up this poor guy was one way of controlling what was going to happen in the apartment, probably more dealing. However, our social housing and our security dealt with that right away as well, so that seems to be resolved. But I just wanted to point out that it's this time of the year again, that the dealers and that, they're all trying to get into the buildings because it's cold. They can't meet, they don't want to get their little tootsies cold meeting their clients outside in the middle of winter if they can help it. They prefer to have them come in, and this is one of the things that is happening in our area again. So I just wanted to also explain a little bit more about the kind of tactics that these people have to get into the apartment buildings and trick people and that. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm just going to put up the video on the shooting. But I do know that things seems to be upping around. There's more activity again, and like I said, different people on the streets right now. So how much of this is involving these new people, we don't know yet. But I know myself, last night, just at dusk there, I took Heidi, my service dog, and we walked through the market, and it was nice to see the police patrolling as it was getting dark as well. So I know the police are doing the best they can. They are patrolling, which is really nice to see them out there, and knowing that you've got some kind of protection, at least there. And you could see them, and they're looking at the crowds and seeing who's there. And this was kind of at dusk when you got the tourists who are still in town, and that. So you've got the early nighttime crowd, and then you've got the later nighttime crowd as well. So I just wanted to brief everyone on that today, just a little update on what is going on. So again, I shall talk to you soon. I want you to take care, watch yourself, watch your surroundings, and we'll talk again soon. And bye-bye.